I have no idea what point we are at in this goal, and it is my goal to annoy you with it by bringing it up to all the people I feel sorry for that watch this channel constantly and aren't new. We have been working very hard on a second channel, Degenerate Plays, where we play through video games.
Again.
No, hey, we play through video games in a podcast style. It's very fun. We joke around, we have a good time, we interact with the comments. We hope to see you over there because our goal is to hit 8,500 subscribers over there before the end of the year. And if we don't do that, nothing's going to happen. But we want it to happen, so please do check it out. That's in the description down below. I'm not good with ultimatums. I back down very easily.
No, that was a good plug.
So we hope to see you over there. It's very fun. Link is in the description. Hey, here's the thing. T, you are out for a surgery right now. You're getting some work done. A real cosmetic work you need. Your nose was looking awful, but,
it's large and is charge. It's large and in charge?
Large and is charge? It's large and leading the charge.
I got some real problems.
I know, man. I know. Well, you actually are out getting a surgery right now, so I thought it would be fun to have you in a couple of videos spaced out throughout the next couple of weeks before you're back and recovered and rested up.
Sure.
And that's why we're looking at 5 things that Arkham City did the absolute best out of the franchise. The last video I did on my own, so it's nice to have you here for Night. Let's just jump right into the list since I literally wasted a whole minute.
That's all right, man. Number 5.
The first thing is the best map. I think this has the best map in the franchise. Now, best does not mean biggest. It's not about the size of the tool. It's how you use it. I have to tell myself that every day. So I'm telling it to you.
Yep, thank you for that.
So here's the thing. This map is very focused. There's hidden stuff everywhere. There are Easter eggs everywhere. There's really no unused space for the most part, and every alleyway or every path leads somewhere. That is not really something you can say for most of the rest of the series, whether it's Origins, where you head into Crime Alley and there is a wall grate that you can't open there. Remember that?
I do. I really do.
Or you head out into a different area. I mean, I'm not even coming up with an exact example, but you head on into a different area where you'd expect something to be important, and there's really not much there. That game was much more empty. Now, I like it. It works for the atmosphere, but it didn't lead to a really complete world. And you have a little bit the same with Night because it's so big to a lot for the Batmobile that you drive by most everything.
You do, yeah, and with Origins it's a lot more, like you said, it's empty, it's not very lively, and that's a big part of City. It's a very lively city where there's stuff going on all the time, and whether that's, as Batman or as Catwoman, whatever, either way, you're always seeing stuff, there's always stuff to do. And I think a big part of that is like the political prisoners and the bad guys. I don't know, what the thugs, I guess you could say.
Yes.
The thugs. Their dialogue that you're picking up as you're going throughout too. So even if you're flying over the city, you're getting stuff that's actually important to the story. It adds stuff. There's even some Easter eggs in there.
Arkham City. Same old crap.
Yeah. Yeah, they do say the same thing a lot. But they even said, what's next? Arkham World or something like that at one point. Like, there was stuff that people were picking apart that was just in those. So, the map and the environment that's created in City is, I think, the best.
I love how they would reference things, too, in the voice dialogue. Like, did you guys see Bruce Wayne come in here at the beginning? And they'll say, where did he go? And they're like, he's probably dead by now. They'll bring up stuff like that. And they'll have just full-on conversations that make them more human too. They're not just like, yeah, I love being evil. They'll actually talk about stuff that makes it seem like you're fighting real people.
They really do. And looking at even the map layout itself, I think it flows, in my opinion, the best out of all of them. I love Asylum, but I think that with Asylum, it's just kind of going from one end of the island to the other, and it's different buildings.
It flows better in the buildings than out on the island.
Correct. Where you're getting a nice flow throughout the entire area in City, and Wonder Tower right in the middle is
and a sewer
awesome.
System.
And the sewer system as well.
It's small, but it exists and it does add to it.
I think if there was a Batcave in that game, it might be perfect.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing it was missing, really.
Number 4! So, the next one we do have is the best story. Now, I think that we're assuming people have watched the story, right? Or played through it on this?
Yeah, I think it was 2013 it came out. So yeah, I think we're just
well, you can't do that, so make them mad at me for assuming someone watched Return of the Jedi in 86. So, dude, this is the internet.
You're really disrespectful.
I'm assuming you've played this game. The thing with this story is it definitely has the best twist out of any of the games, for sure. Mm-hmm. It has hidden things throughout the game. I'm assuming they left by now if they didn't want to hear the story. That's why I was drawing that out.
Right. And you can actually see, I think, later on, too, when they do the big reveal, and you see that, Clayface is Joker. I mean, they were doing the whole, two Joker thing. That Also, when Joker was, when Harley Quinn knocks out Batman, and then it's right in the beginning with the steel mill, and that's when Joker pushes him out of the window, whatever. That also at that point, they did a swap, and Clayface was there, and he was involved the whole time. And that twist, I think, is one of the best twists that I've seen in a game. It was brilliant. And if you look back, it almost seems like it could have been obvious, because you can hear like coughs occasionally in the background while Joker's talking. And there's small Easter eggs in there as well. But and that's just the main story, and that's just with Joker. You're also talking about Ra's al Ghul and his influence in this game. Hugo Strange, he was a puppet kind of throughout, and how that, you didn't really see that coming either. So I thought it was a really woven together story, and it just worked.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
100%.
Number 3.
The best incorporation of gadgets. This does rely on an annoying element of this game to actually be true, which is the Riddler trophies. And the reason I'm saying that is because, yes, there is a good incorporation of your gadgets to progress throughout the world, almost Metroidvania style at times in this series, and especially in this game. However, a lot of that really also comes back to what Riddler trophies you can access at a given point in the game. Now, why is this game better with that than something like Arkham Knight? Well, even though there are way too many Riddler trophies in this, to me, I think there's just too many. It should have been cut by like 50, I think. Regardless,
I think it was at like 430 or
it was
something. 440.
Insane.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Insane.
It was a lot.
But the thing with that is that a lot of those rely on being smart with gadgets, which does make you feel more like a detective or like Batman, I guess. And you don't.
Like an IGN thing. Makes you feel like Batman.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. Too much water. Don't like water. Don't drink any water. 10 out of 2. Yeah, no. So that's the thing is, I really do think that makes it feel more lively. Whereas something like Knight, you could say, well, they had less Riddler trophies. Wouldn't that be better? Yeah, it's better from the standpoint of the trophies themselves, I think. But however, half of those things rely on the car. You don't have that in this.
They really do. Yeah, the car is an important part of this, and I think the gadgets are critical for solving, I think, most, if not all, or not all, but like most of the Riddler trophies that you find there, aside from the ones that are just like on random parts that you have to find in kind of weird nooks and crannies throughout. They really focus the use of the gadgets on finding Riddler trophies, and even in parts of the game that you need to get through. Yeah, in combat's a huge thing, and you also have to use that to get Riddler trophies in certain moments of combat. But even, I remember a part in the game where you had to, a few parts in the game, where you had to use a remote control batarang to go through an electric current and bring it back around and hit in a box. So like you're using, and then after you get the electric gun thing that you
REC.
REC, yes, yeah. So you use that gradually, and that's how you get Riddler trophies later on. So they really do, as you go along, incorporate them into not only Riddler trophies, but into combat, into the main story, and how you get through and progress to the next part of the campaign. So they really do incorporate them really well, and I think the best in the series as well.
Absolutely. Number 2. This very clearly had the most hype in the franchise, and you can say, well, not for me, but the thing is, for the general public, it did. It really did. And it wasn't just for us, but I do remember when we were sitting in study hall in school, and we would be on our MacBooks, because yes, the school wasted money on those that we did not use for work at all. We would sit in the back of study hall just hyping ourselves up like crazy over this game. It'd be a new image released, or Batman Arkham Videos released a new video about it where he put up some gameplay of it in the courthouse or something like that, or we'd get a new trailer from IGN or some kind of hype piece that we'd be watching with our headphones, and we'd have the splitter and be listening to like one headphone each. This was majorly hyped, even to the point where people were psyched for the pre-order bonuses of this game. It was a big talk around school and even online. What pre-order bonus are you gonna get? This was obviously before the pushback to pre-orders, where everyone was still like diehards for pre-orders, like, right. I want to pre-order, I want to get all the content. Now people hate that.
Yeah.
But back then it was a big deal. And it was like, I'm going to pre-order it from Best Buy. I want the Robin, skin. Yeah. I'm going to pre-order it from GameStop. I want Joker's Revenge and stuff like that.
Joker's Carnival. Yeah,
Joker's Carnival. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm so sorry. Please don't cancel me. It's not really a can. So, that was a massive piece of hype for this too. Everyone was excited, dude. Everybody.
It was such a big deal, and like you said, we were sitting in study hall, and the thing is they marketed this game so well, and I think not that they didn't with other ones. I think you really see the marketing after Asylum for these games. Like Origins had a really cool trailer with Deathstroke that was, I think, one of the greatest video game trailers I've ever seen. Night had that great one with the Thomas Wayne trailer. So like those did a good job of building hype, but they went all in on this with all of the different concept art that they had with the different characters that you saw with that black and white. It's some of the coolest concept
Harley
art I've ever
Quinn
seen.
with her butt like out perked at
10 out of
110% pointing up at Batman. And we're just like, oh hell yeah. You know, it was all there.
They had all of that, and then I mean,
All of the butt.
all of it, every ounce of it. And then the trailers themselves, they had like the Tiger trailer, they had the Hugo Strange trailer, they had a Joker trailer, they had all of these different trailers that were catered to even different characters throughout. So you catch glimpses of Penguin, you catch a glimpse of Hugo Strange, of Joker.
Oh my gosh, do you remember when they revealed that there were different costumes?
Yes!
And it was the first time, because all we had before in Asylum was the plain costume or the armored costume.
Correct.
That was it. And then it's like 1970s Batman's in this. Holy cow, you know, and people were freaking out.
Yeah.
It's skins.
And
That's
then
the
you could
last
play
time.
other characters in the challenge maps
Yeah,
too.
the level of hype for this thing was off the charts. It was, I don't know if I've seen anything like it in years.
Yeah, I mean, aside from like a Call of Duty game back then, this was
that's true.
This was ridiculous, and I couldn't wait. I remember I went to Blockbuster because I was a kid and couldn't afford the game itself. So I went to Blockbuster the second it came out, rented it for 7 days, and played it until I had to return it, and that was it. And
I didn't even know you didn't buy it.
I didn't buy it right away. I went to Blockbuster, rented it, and then beat it in like 4 days.
Wow.
That's what I had to do. So yeah, it was.
So you're the reason they went out of business.
That's correct. Yeah.
You did it. You did it to them by beating their games in like 2 days.
I think so. Yeah.
Number one.
It's number one.
So the final thing we have, you know, is really, it's hard to talk about because these games are bad at this. I will just straight up say, these games are bad at incorporating other playable characters into the story other than Bruce. No, well, it's because the focus is on Bruce. I know the focus is on Bruce. It's on Batman and it's on the Joker. I get that. However, everybody still loves the Bat family and they wanted to play as them a little more. This game did probably do the best job of letting you play as someone else who was not Bruce Wayne and tying it into the story for more than 5 minutes. That was the Catwoman pre-order DLC or day one DLC or whatever you want to call it. You might not even know that was DLC because it's been packaged into the remaster and all these other versions since then. Game of the Year. It was really only DLC in that first version of this game. But that really did add to the playability of this game. It expanded the character roster. It sort of created the age of, even in just challenge maps, them being like, let's add in Harley, let's add in Nightwing, let's add in Robin, you know what I mean? It was kind of the beginning of that, and I think that actually was the stepping stone to lead to Gotham Knights in a lot of ways, to tie it around full force to sort of a testing ground of how much do people like playing as these characters. Oh, people love playing as Nightwing. Well, what do they not like? Oh, there's not enough gadgets? Yeah, we didn't put a lot of time into that. Okay, write that down. Oh, they love Robin. Well, what's wrong with Robin? Oh, he has half the arsenal Batman has. Oh, that's a problem. Okay, write that down. You know, this, I think, in a way, even though I have no confirmation of this, I think this sort of started a stairway into branching Batman out in video games beyond just Batman.
Yes, I totally 100% agree. I think it's, sorry.
Not okay.
Sorry.
That's why he has to have that surgery, guys. You don't get it. His health condition is deteriorating. And honestly, the only way to help T out is to support me on Patreon. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, though, can you please write out a thing like, if you die, can you write out like a statement about how your final wish is to get me rich?
Absolutely. More subs to Degenerate J, and please support the Patreon. Follow him on Instagram, all that stuff. That'll be in my
YouTube channel.
Right. Yeah. So, and I'll just donate all my stuff to your Patreon, actually.
That's great. Is your stuff worth money?
Anyway, so with the best use of other playable characters in the story, I think that this game really, like you said, does a really good job of it. I think Knight did a really, I don't want to say a great job with it.
The challenge maps they did.
The challenge maps were fantastic. With Robin in the story itself, there were some cool ideas there, and Nightwing as you were able to do combat with them and kind of have the combo takedowns. Those were cool. But with that in mind, it was really just combat that you were getting there. There was the Nightwing mission that was kind of cool, and there were some decent things with Robin. But for the most part, Catwoman I think the way that her story is woven together with Batman's in this story, and how she, right from the beginning, now, especially now, with, like you said, the way that it's packaged, it's just a really smooth story, and like you're able to explore the open world with her and go around. She has her own Riddler trophies.
It never annoyed me either.
No.
Forced character changes in games, they can frustrate me at least. I don't know about you, but it's like, I didn't buy this game to play as this character. Back to Batman, you know? I didn't feel that way with Catwoman. Maybe somebody did, but I didn't. I felt like it was just tied in organically.
It was, and there was even after the campaign, after, you wanted to go in and get your jewels back against Two-Face. There was a boss fight against Two-Face, which kind of
you could go grab Two-Face's jewels.
You can, and consensual or not, she grabbed them.
And you could run the jewels there.
Yeah, and like, that was cool because you see Two-Face as Batman in the main story, and it's like, you leave him and he's wrapped up over the bath of acid, and instead it kind of just ties up that story. She punches him in the face, gets her goods back, and then moves right along. So I guess back to the main point, the story is really woven together with them really well. I loved how she traversed around the city, although it was obviously not as easy as Batman. It was still fun to take a break and do that. And I thought that it was just a little bit better than it was in Night. I
do too. I think Night really did it perfectly in the challenge maps and in supplementary content. So Matter of Family, making short little also episodes that focused on each character, even though they're too short, they're there.
They are there.
So there's little bits of story content, but this did the best job tying it into the main game.
Yes, for sure.
So hey, these are our picks for the 5 things that Batman Arkham City did the best. This actually concludes really our series on 5 things that it did the best out of any of this series. Maybe at some point we'll come back to Blackgate. I really have very little memory of that game. So people ask about Blackgate when we make these. I'm serious, they do. And I have very little memory of Blackgate. So maybe at some point it'll come up again, but it's not really a high priority on our radar at all. So hey, let us know anything in the comments down below. What are your favorite things? What are your least favorite things? I'm also interested what your favorite game is. People usually love talking about that and debating it in the comments. Very, very lively discussions down there. We're interested. Be sure to check out the new Degenerate Plays channel, which is less and less new every time I bring it up. We hope to see you over there, and we hope you have a fantastic day. And as always, stay shway.